Oh, there it is. It is that time. And I'm Charlie Simons talking about two things you're never supposed to talk about: religion and politics. One decides what life is going to be like here on earth. The other one decides what life is going to be like after we leave it. That makes it kind of important. And the fact that we've grown up with everybody telling us, oh, don't talk about that, is too decisive, too divisive. Decisive, yes. Divisive. So we got to be taking it to a deeper level. We can't keep talking about sports and Taylor Swift and goofy stuff like that and being distracted by this shiny thing, and the media so successfully able to divert our attention away from horrible things that are going on. Stuff like the State of the Union address. That horrible, decrepit thing that some of you call the President of the United States stood up in front of Congress and told us the State of the Union was strong. Well, if you wanted to know what he said, you could have just watched the speech from last year, because he repeated himself throughout. He plagiarized himself. He already has a ridiculous reputation of plagiarism. He's been busted for it many times. The media, if this would have been President Trump repeating things that he had said verbatim from the year before or a couple of years before, they would have freaked. They would have been all over it. They look for anything and everything, don't they now? Oh, no, they were completely silent on this, except for guys like this stud, Dan Bongino, who caught it.
In a literal sense, they just repeated last year's State of the Union and threw in a few additional angry lines. It's the same speech. Watch this back and forth from Mays Moore, a little over a minute, of last year's speech and this year's speech. It's the same exact speech. Check this out.
Build the economy from the bottom up and the middle out, not from the top down. To build an economy from the bottom up and the middle out, not from the top down. When the middle class grows, the poor will way up and the wealthy do very well. Because when the middle class does well, the poor have a ladder up and the wealthy still do very well. We'll build a national network of 500,000 electric vehicle charging stations. We're going to build 500,000 electric vehicle charging stations, 10,000 new jobs. It's going to create 10,000 jobs. There's been a law on the books for almost a century to make sure taxpayers' dollars support American jobs and businesses. Buy America has been the law since 1933, but we're actually doing it. We'll buy America, using federal infrastructure projects to be made in America. That we'd all agree that the present tax system ain't fair. The tax system is not fair. It is not fair. Who sit at a dining room table or a kitchen table and chairs the dining room table constantly reminding you. The only nation that can be defined by a single word, possibilities. Like I can define it in one word, and I mean this, possibilities. I'm a capitalist. Look, I'm a capitalist. But capitalism without competition is not capitalism. Capitalism without competition is exploitation. Capitalism without competition is not capitalism. It's extortion. It's exploitation. That's why I propose closing loopholes for the very wealthy who pay a lower tax rate than a teacher and a firefighter. But no billionaire should be paying a lower tax rate than a school teacher or firefighter.
Again, one of the things I'm proudest of on this show is when I give you an opinion, I back it up with receipts.
There we go. Thank you, Dan Bongino, and thank you to Mays Moore for putting together that compilation of the different State of the Union speeches where he's saying the same stinking thing over and over and over again, verbatim. Only one time he said ain't, and the other time he said isn't. Now, I realize Biden doesn't write any of those speeches. He's not smart enough. He's never been smart enough. He's not a good orator. He's not a good lawyer. He's a horrible senator, ridiculous congressman, pathetic vice president, and now the worst president this country has ever had. He doesn't write those speeches. So is that sheer laziness, or are they following the Saul Alinsky's rules for radicals? Are they following the Communist Manifesto? Are they following the National Socialist Party? Nazis. Where they know if you say a lie outrageous enough and often enough, it will become truth in people's minds. Bingo. Mitch Clemmons is my guest today. He's with SoCal Patriots, and he was also down there at the Take Our Border Back convoy, and he got to go even further than I did. So I'm looking forward to introducing him to you and meeting him myself, too, for the first time, actually, on Do Not Talk. Hit it. Oh, it didn't add.
Yep, here he comes. Riding his trusted steed through the Sierra foothills as he brings you the news. Oh yeah! Oh yeah! He calls himself
Charlie!
What you doing, Charlie?
Sorry, Charlie.
Hi, Charlie. There you are. Look how cute you are. Yeah!
Hey, Charlie. What's with the dark glasses?
And now, here he is, a man of God, living in a world of Disney.
Ow! Charlie!
Charlie Simons.
Charlie bit me.
I love that logo, and there it is on our big old 15-ounce mug, and I love big mugs. I cannot lie. Them other brothers can't deny. You can have one of these for yourself, by the way, and you'd be helping us stay on the air. Right now it's empty. It needs to be filled up with your money. I mean, with your purchase. You can put whatever you want in it, but you'd be helping us stay on the air that way. And there's other ways you can give too. You can buy one of these fantastic shirts. I love these shirts. Soft, thick, collar stays up where it's supposed to. God, family, country. What it says on the back. There's our website, rumble.com/do not talk. Get a shirt, get a mug, get 28 of them, whatever. Or you can give through Give, Sing, Go. You can also become a monthly subscriber through Locals. It's all at this website I'm about to give you. Are you ready? Do-not-talk.com. That's it. Do-not-talk.com. Doo-dah. Hello, Mitch Clemmons. What's up, buddy boy?
Hey, how are you doing today?
I'm borderline amazing.
All
How
right.
about you?
I'm doing awesome. Yeah,
Excellent.
today's a good day.
Glad to hear it. I get a kick out of your when I was talking to Mitch, he's with SoCal Patriots, and we'll get into that and what you guys are doing down there, which is fantastic. Thank God for you. But I'm talking to him about that, and I'm like going, yeah, and this and that, and I'm with Freedom Rider 1776, and we've been talking about what you all are doing down there and everything, and he goes, I'm just a plumber. He goes, and I'm about to drain the swamp. I'm like, that's a good answer. So I saw your commercial, very funny commercial. I guess you're pretty well known down in your area just for your funny commercials about being a plumber and your plumbing business. And that's what you are. You're Joe the plumber.
No. I'm not Joe the plumber. Joe the plumber didn't have a license, actually. Obama's Joe the plumber was not a legitimate licensed plumber.
That's right. I forgot about that.
And,
oh my
and
goodness.
I am.
Yeah, but you are right. So how long have you been in Southern California? Are you a native down there?
Yeah, I was born in La Mirada, raised in Whittier and Norwalk, and live in Whittier currently. Raised my kids here and been in the area my whole life. I had a little jaunt where I lived up in Mojave Valley, Arizona, but been here my whole life for the most part.
I know you hate hearing this, but we NorCal folks, to us, it's all just LA. You're all just LA. That's
yeah, I know.
Thank God you don't think we're all San Francisco. I have I've been so blessed to have been invited by Kim Yater and Scotty Sachs to participate in that Take Our Border Back convoy that happened. Wow, it's been like a month ago now, huh? A little bit more. And I'm so glad to be there, but I was also it was a slap in the face. It was a reality check. I'm setting up live. I'm ready to go. I'm going to get the whole convoy down at the Southern California, right there at the border, San Ysidro, which is south of San Diego. Not exactly a small populated area. Don't have a problem getting a cell signal there. A lot of people down there. And I'm all set up to go on StreamYard. I'm going to go live, and I'm going to feed out to all these different platforms, and I'm going to get the whole rally I'm really excited about it. Set up with my tripod, my microphone, everything's ready to go. 45 seconds before it's to start, boop, everything goes away. Mitch, everything went away. I'm like, what the heck's happened here? But I'm relying on cell signal, and I have Verizon for service, which as soon as my contract's done, they're done. But I set it all up again real quick. The thing's already started now, and I'm going, okay, I'm going to join it late. And I hit live, boop, goes away again.
Oh, man.
It was that way the whole weekend. Every time I tried to go live from anywhere, I was getting cut off. Who was doing that?
That's no good.
Was that Verizon? Was that were they blocking signals in the area? What the heck was that? Do you know?
Me?
Yeah.
I've got no idea. Why would they be blocking you?
Did anyone else have those problems that you know of? Did anyone else?
I don't know. I wasn't trying to live stream. I got some video, but I figured I'd put it together and put it up later. So I wasn't trying to live stream. I don't know. They have so much ability to do so many things to disrupt us these days that we don't even know about. So who knows? Who knows? They out there.
So later on, I'm watching at a hotel. This is after we'd gone to Arizona, and I'm watching Josh Fulfer from Oreo Express. He is live at the border where there's a hole in the fence, one of those places where the fence didn't get finished.
Mm-hmm.
And hundreds just walking in. There, and he's getting a live shot of all of this. He's chronicling them coming in, crouching in the bushes. Border Patrol shows up. They all rush. They run to Border Patrol and all say the lines that they've been fed by the NGOs. Here's what you say, so that they just take your name and let you go.
Yep.
No, they won't just let you go. They'll transport you somewhere where you can
and give you some gift cards.
Yes.
Yep.
And Josh is able to get all of this, including the Border Patrol. One of the Border Patrol agents saying on a loudspeaker, "We will make sure you're all home tonight."
Oh, wow.
Where's home? What do you mean home? I thought they just came from home.
Yeah.
Why are you talking to them like, oh, we've been waiting for you. We're so glad you're here. And this is a Border Patrol agent. Another Border Patrol agent was shining a super bright light at Josh's camera, trying to block out so that they couldn't shoot what was going on. It didn't work. Yeah. And then another one comes up off camera, so you don't see his face, but he asked Josh, how are you getting a signal?
Oh, wow. Interesting.
And Josh answered him, I'm on satellite. I'm on Starlink, Elon Musk's satellite system. And that's what he said. Oh.
Yeah, I actually got myself a Starlink so that I'd be prepared if regular internet gets blocked. So
did you?
Yes, I did. I got one of my plumbing vans. I converted it halfway into an RV, and that's what I took on the Take Our Border Back caravan. I actually took my plumbing van, and I have a bed built out in the back and an ice chest in there and things. So I'm camping in my plumbing van as I'm doing Take Our Border Back.
Nice. I love it.
So Starlink, so I could have internet on the road.
Were you? And how much does that cost, if you don't mind me asking? Because I really need to look into that.
You have to buy the device. I can't remember how much I paid for the satellite thing. I think it was probably $600 or something like that. And it's $150 a month for the internet. And I was thinking I was gonna cancel my home internet just keep that. But then I realized my wife and kids aren't gonna have any internet when I go somewhere. So now I'm paying for both.
So it's kind of like the old XM satellite system, because I had XM satellite radio for a while, and you can take this little thing about that big out of your truck and take it into the house and put it on the docking station there and have it wherever you are. But that's all it was a satellite receiver.
Yeah.
Signal receiver.
Yeah. Same thing here. It's bigger. It's good sized, but they have a more expensive one, and the monthly fee is more expensive, that you can mount on your roof on your vehicle, and you can travel and get internet. I don't have that one. The one I have, you can go about 15 miles an hour and you'll still get internet. But if you start going fast, you lose signal. So
Oh, really?
It works. It works just about anywhere as long as there's no obstructions. You can put it out, and it works really easy.
Hopefully they get that fixed, because like XM, they had the same thing. I had to have it installed in my truck, and it was just a little about that big on the roof, and it was magnet, and it stayed on, and I could go anywhere. Unless it got into an area where, like, going through a tunnel or real heavy trees, and then you'd lose signal. But it didn't matter how fast you were going. So that's interesting that with the Starlink, you get over 15 miles an hour and you lose the internet.
Well, they have an upgraded one that you can get. It's a much bigger panel, high performance panel, and that one's a couple grand, and then you got to pay $300 a month for service. But that one you can travel at full speed. So you're not just delivering music; you're delivering
video
full
too,
speed, high speed internet. So
that's a good point. That's a good point. It makes a difference. So I'm glad you did that. And were you there at San Ysidro down in SoCal for the start?
No, I didn't go to San Ysidro, even though I'm right here in SoCal. You'd think I would, but I actually have a lot of friends that I know in Arizona. And so I did the leg that started in Golden Valley, Arizona, in Mojave Valley there, and ran down through Lake Havasu City and down to Yuma from there. And so camped out at the Great American Pizza and Pasta there in Golden Valley. That
was a cool place, wasn't it?
Yes, it's a cool place.
It's like in the middle of nothing. It's like in the middle of nothing. There's an old army fort, is what it kind of reminded me of.
Yeah, they got a pretty good population out there in Golden Valley. It's a pretty good sized community. It's been there a long time. It's certainly bigger than it used to be. And then we camped the night there in the pizza place parking lot, and then drove down the next day and camped overnight in Yuma after the event, and then went home. I cruised the border on the way back. I decided I wanted to go see if I could see anybody trying to get through, and I didn't get lucky. I didn't catch any fish. So what we saw with the Freedom Riders 1776 folks I was with. We'd be on a 2-lane road in the desert in the middle of nothing. And all of a sudden we go, who are those people? What are they doing over there? They were all, they looked just like all the other illegals look. They have nice, new, clean clothing. Yeah.
Not like somebody who's walked thousands of miles, allegedly. They all have, and they're all on the side of the road together. There'd be like 30, 40, 50 of them.
Yeah.
Just waiting there. There's no bus stop, no signs, no businesses nearby, 2-lane road in the desert. They've been dropped off there. This is a pickup point. They're going to be picked up by a bus that we're paying for, or series of vans that we're paying for, and they're going to be transported to the airport or to wherever they're going to go to fly to the destinations that they say they want to go to. And then when they're asked about, well, why do you want to go to Philadelphia? Let's say this one video I saw, as a matter of fact, why do you want to go to Philadelphia? Well, this is where they told me to go. And he added on a piece of paper. This is where they told me to go, to Philadelphia. Who's they?
It's amazing.
Who's they, Mitch? Who are they?
You know, it's funny you say that we're paying for their flights. Taxpayers are paying for all of it, but we pay for it all the way from that journey all the way down on the other side of the Darien Gap, because we fund the UN, and the UN is funding all these camps along the way. And the reason they come in with clean looking clothes, even if they didn't make that long travel, is because we're funding through the UN these camps that they have on the other side of the border, where these people get refreshed and get new supplies, get food, get new clothes, and then get ready
for
marching
orders. And their marching orders
to come across. It's crazy. It's unbelievable what's happening. You know, I have a lot of compassion for immigrants that are coming here looking for a better life. But this is complete insanity. We need to completely overhaul our immigration system, and we need to close up our border, because it's not just people coming here looking for economic betterment, but there's a lot of really bad people come across our border too. And this keeps getting brought up. You know, I don't understand how it's almost surreal that we live in these times where you see all this stuff going on. It's unbelievable to me, the things we've seen in the last few years. Every time something new happens, I would be in amazement. And now I'm just so I'm kind of numb. Every time something amazing happens, I'm just like, oh yeah, It's almost like we expect craziness these days.
I blame the media for almost everything now.
Yeah.
Because I've been in the media. That's all I've done all my life is media, radio and television, big networks, CBS, ABC, Clear Channel. I've worked for all the big ones. And I blame them so much for what's going on, because I guarantee you, if, let's say, all the people south on the southern side of our border, whether they come from Central America, South America, all the other countries that they're coming in from, if they were all card-carrying conservatives, they all came from an actual democratic style of government. They weren't already indoctrinated and swimming full on in the world of socialism and communism. Instead, they were like our Cuban folks who have immigrated here, who are like, yeah, we want nothing with communism. We want none of it. And in Florida, they're like some of the most conservative voters, the Cuban immigrants. So let's say those folks were coming across the border, and President Trump had the border wide open and literally said in some speeches, come on in, like Biden has done. But these people, they're going to vote for the most part conservatively. What do you think the media's reaction would be to that?
Yep, they would be screaming at the top of their lungs completely.
It would be 24/7.
Double standards all over the place. It's incredible the times we live in.
It's all it is, a huge double standard, and I'm sick of it. And I'm
calling good evil, calling light darkness. That's
in the Bible.
Incredible.
Yeah, that's in the Word. So tell me about SoCal Patriots.
Oh, we're just so SoCal Patriots came about because I got involved with politics in 2020 when the pandemic hit. I was so frustrated with all of our leaders. The businesses were shutting their doors. Business owners were shutting their doors, and then you had our pastors were shutting the doors of the church, and then our elected officials who are supposed to be representing us were not standing up for us as people. Oh, no. All of our leaders were failing, and I got pretty upset about that. And I got my ballot in the mail at that time, and I had 5 choices for U.S. House of Representatives for my district. All 5 of them, or 5 or 6, were Democrat. I said, well, one of these has to be a reasonable, like a Kennedy Blue Dog Democrat. One of them has to be moderate or reasonable. So I went and I researched all of them. Every single one of them had far left policies. Yeah. And so I felt challenged to run for office, and I ended up running for office that year, but the next year I got involved. But at that time, the Newsom recall was happening. And so I went on the website, the Recall Newsom website. I figured out how to collect petition signatures, set up a table, and start collecting the signatures. And almost everybody that was coming to the table were believers. Almost all of them were believers coming to sign. And a bunch of them, over the course of the few months I was doing that, wanted to volunteer and help. And so by the time I was done, we had collected about 5,000 signatures with our little group. And I probably had about 20 to 30 people that had, volunteered. They wanted to help out of nowhere. That I'm like I said, I'm just a plumber. I'm a plumbing contractor. Been doing it for 30 years. Owned my own business for the last 22 years. I had no intention to get involved with politics and gather volunteers or any of this stuff. But it's like God kept putting things together, and I just kept being obedient. And at some point, I realized we needed to kind of give ourselves a name. And that's where SoCal Patriots came from. And I had some people that had their names of their little groups were like named after the district they were in. So I had some people get mad at me because I named it SoCal Patriots, so it covers the whole Southern California. And people were a little mad at me because a couple of people were a little upset because they felt like I was stepping on their toes. But it wasn't my intent. I was just trying to give a name to our little group of volunteers. And we kept going ever since. We've done a lot of things with election integrity. We actually formed a California Republican Assembly unit called Whittier and La Habra Republican Assembly here. And I was the first president of that one. We founded it and passed it on to somebody else when I ran for office the following year. So we've done a number of things, supported a lot of candidates, worked a lot on election integrity things, and done some little rallies and events, and it's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun being involved with politics.
I'm glad you think so, because the more I get involved in it, the uglier it is. And I'm like,
well, I'll agree with that too.
I don't
It's
even
a
want to
greasy
see how that
business.
sausage is made anymore. You mentioned CRA. Explain to anyone who doesn't know what they are.
So the California Republican Assembly is a grassroots Republican chartered under the California Republican Party. It's a chartered organization. It's official as a Republican organization, but it's a conservative. It's made up of the conservative wing of the Republican Party for the most part. Ronald Reagan, they had a huge hand in helping get him elected for president, and maybe for governor back in '67. I don't know if it was around then or not, but I know for sure.
No, they've been around since the 30s.
Oh, wow. So, yeah, that's right. They're the oldest Republican organization. I forgot about that. They've been around for a long, long time. So, but they helped get Reagan elected. And Reagan called the CRA, the California Republican Assembly, he called it the conscience of the Republican Party, because it really is made up of the grassroots, mostly a bunch of Christians. There are some Jewish people and other mixed in there, but for the most part, it's Bible-believing Christians and conservatives. And we really are, I think, the conscience that of the Republican Party to some extent. Yeah.
Yeah, you
That's
can
what
be
the
whatever
CRA is.
whatever denomination you want, whatever religion, whatever faith, whatever it is. It doesn't even have to be Christian. Absolutely, you're welcome. You're all welcome, as long as you will acknowledge that we are a biblically based nation, a constitutional republic that was founded on biblical and, as they say, Judeo-Christian values. If you're going to fight against that and you're going to try and destroy it because you're Islam, then yeah, you know what? I'm not going to be real welcoming for you in the CRA. But if you're like, yeah, I respect this nation and what they've built and how it was built and the people who built it, and I want to see it preserved, more the merrier. Come on in.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love what they do.
Yeah, I do too. You see ugliness. You know, it's funny because you see the ugliness. And I ran for state senate in 2022, and the reason I did it because I wanted to unseat the Democrat that was voting for wicked policies. But what I ended up finding out was my party, the Republican Party in California, wouldn't adequately support us. I did end up getting endorsed by the LA GOP, the Orange County GOP, and California GOP, but there was no real help that came from them. There's no training, no resources, no treasurer, no campaign manager, no, and then campaign sidekick was terrible. And I had pushback from the local Republicans, and I was amazed. I went in it to unseat a Democrat. And now I'm at the point where I realize that my real mission at the moment is for us to help the conservatives take back the Republican Party. They're trying to destroy our party platform last year. They wanted to take out biblical marriage, and they wanted to take out our stance on life, and that's amazing to me. But thankfully, because God's been stirring up His people for the last few years here, we have enough people in there now that we were able to vote and stop that from happening and keep our platform the way it is with all those good planks in there about marriage and the right to life. So yeah, it's been an adventure seeing all this stuff. And so it's even inside the CRA. You even see some little splinters, some little slivers of corruption, I should say, here and there. And it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that politics can be ugly. And that's why I ran. I tell people all the time, you know what reasonable person wants to get involved with the swamp of politics? I like my family. I like my garden. I like to go roller skating. I love hanging out with my wife and my kids. Why in the heck would I want to go up to the swamp? But if good people don't get involved and go up there, it's going to continue to be a swamp.
The fact that you never run for office and you just had gotten so sick of what was happening that you threw your hat in the ring makes you one of my heroes. That gives you hero status with me. I admire anybody who does that.
Yeah, it was a pain in the butt, I'll tell you that.
This coming Saturday, March 23rd at the RNC Community Center. It's the Republican National Committee Community Center. There's going to be a whole bunch of CRA folks there. And I'm going to be there as well, broadcasting live. And it goes from 11 to 5. It's actually a 4-hour thing, but it's at at 9550 Bolsa Avenue, Bolsa, in Westminster. Are you near there?
Yeah, that's probably about half an hour from me. Yeah.
Would you come to this? Would you be my
coming
guest?
To this. I'm actually helping. Part of the committee, I guess.
Ta-da!
One of their volunteers.
Okay, good. Well, I'm preaching to the choir then. John Paul White, I just had him on last week. What an absolute kick, man.
Yeah.
That guy's a character.
That guy's been fighting in this fight since I was a kid, probably, you know?
Yeah, he's quite the stud. If you're in Southern California, you're in that area, that's this Saturday. And it starts at what does it start at noon or 11:30? What time's it?
You know, I don't know what the start time is, unfortunately.
Okay.
They don't have a web page or anything, but they do have it on their Facebook page. Yeah. Did you get the Facebook page from John Paul?
I did. I don't remember what it was called though, unfortunately, right now.
Yeah. But I'm banned off of Facebook, so I don't know.
You are?
Yeah, I was talking about Jesus talking about the two things you're not supposed to talk about. I'm always talking about religion and politics. Because you're right. You know, you pick those two things and you're right. Absolutely. They're the two most important things because the religion is how you get knowing Jesus determines that's how you get to heaven. And politics is about how our everyday lives are affected. If we don't get involved with the political process as good people, then we're leaving it to the bad people to run. So we have the religion and politics are the two most important things we need to be talking about. We're
leaving it to the devil to railroad and run roughshod all over a nation that was created under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. There's nothing he would love more than to see us destroyed and dismantled. God's will be done on earth as it is in heaven. That's coming. We're not going to stop that. However, we can't determine what the rest of the world's going to do when they fall into the abyss, basically, and sell their soul to the devil by taking the mark of the beast and all that. But here in the United States of America, we can correct our course. We can humble ourselves before the Lord, and we can cry and ask for forgiveness, and he will heal our land. He promises that. We can be the one bastion, the light on the shining light, the city on the hill, all the different little phrases that have been used by different politicians. We can still be that. We can turn this around. But as California goes, so goes the rest of the nation, which is why devil and his demons are fighting so hard to completely bring down this state, because they know the rest of the nation will fall in line eventually if they can control and take over the state. And they're awfully damn close, aren't they, Mitch?
Yeah, they are. You know, I talk about this a lot too, and I come at it even from a one step below California, is the fact that LA County is home to 10 million residents. We have a quarter of the population of California in one county. California is roughly about 40 million. 10 million of them are in LA County. So as goes LA County, so goes California. And as goes California, so goes the nation. I truly believe that if we can turn around LA County, and that's why I'm here staying in LA County, fighting for it. About 4 years ago, we were living in Orange County. I grew up in LA County, but we were living in Orange County, raised our kids there, started my business there. 20 years we were there, raised our kids. And we were looking for a house. We needed to buy a house and move through a series of circumstances. And we ended up buying our house in Whittier, which is in LA County. And I knew when I moved back to LA County that God was calling me to LA County for his purposes, but I didn't know what, because that was in 2019 and COVID hadn't hit yet. And none of this craziness had started. But here I am now doing election integrity, doing all this stuff in LA County. I really believe we have an opportunity to turn LA County around and to rescue these people that have been put in bondage, though they don't know it, by Democrat socialist policies for generations. I think we have an opportunity to show them a better way, show them how to get out of that constant cycle of poverty and how to make Los Angeles great again, to be honest with you. I think we have some unique opportunities. You know, if you don't mind, I'm going to share one more thing with you too, is you're talking about how, you know, that you're sharing, you kind of talked about, you paraphrased 2 Chronicles 7:14 earlier, where if my people who are called by my name will humble themselves. And it starts there. And what I realized at first was that God's people, the reason why we were fallen under judgment was God's people in this nation wouldn't even get to the point of humbling themselves.
Oh, thank you so much.
Recognize that they needed to repent.
Oh, this is awesome.
Recognize it. And, you know, part of that was me too. I was in that bucket and I was realizing it. And I was so hopeless for America at the time because I was like, oh my goodness, we are under judgment. But then when I got involved with the recall and had these volunteers coming out, and then when I started running for office, and I ended up running for office alongside other candidates that were also Bible-believing Christians, and all of our volunteer groups for each of us were helping each other. And it was like, I made a whole new family in Christ in the campaign season. It was amazing, that season. And the reason I bring that up is because what I recognized was that scripture was being fulfilled. I started to see the beginnings of God beginning to heal our nation, which means his people were responding. They were humbling themselves. They were praying and seeking his face. And he was starting the healing of our nation. And I believe that we do have a lot of hope. There's a lot of craziness still going on. It looks even crazier and crazier every day. The people coming across the border, the laws,
I know.
judges, all the stuff they're doing.
It seems absolutely overwhelming.
But I believe that God is going to give us one more season of grace because his people are turning to him. And that's what his requirement is, that his people will turn to him. And I see it happening. I'm encouraged, to be honest with you.
When I've quoted that scripture before or referenced it, I've had people go, there's no way you're going to get like Hollywood and San Francisco and all these different places to humble themselves. And I go, no, that's not what the scripture says.
That's not what it says.
My people who are called by my name will humble themselves.
That's right.
I think we forget how powerful prayer is and how much we can, we have not because we ask not.
Yeah.
And especially if we come together in corporate prayer, like I'm part of a group right now, we're praying for all the different counties. We all chose a county. Mine's Calaveras. And every Monday we're just praying for them, for that county for 10 minutes, but we're all doing it collectively. And Jesus said, wherever 2 or more are gathered in my name, I will be there also. So we can keep, doing the whole lone wolf thing all we want, but we got to come together. There's a reason why the word tells us do not forsake the gathering of yourselves together.
That's right.
There's power in people who have God's Holy Spirit in them. There's tremendous power in that.
Yes, there is.
We have not because we ask not. Don't forget that. So I'm so glad to hear you say this, that you just made my heart leap. That's fantastic, brother. That's fantastic. So I hope that there's a lot of that this coming Saturday, that the Republican National.
I'm sure we'll see a lot of that on Saturday. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Good. Anything else you want to tell us about SoCal Patriots? How do we find you? How do we get involved?
So the website is socalpatriots.us. All that's on that sign, you'll find a short, brief explanation of what we are and what we're doing and a sign-up form. It's a one-page website. I simplified it to make it nice and simple so people can sign up. And then what do you get when you sign up? Well, you end up on my email list. I don't send out very many emails. I might send out one a month, maybe not even that often, depends on what's going on. Sometimes a couple a month, but not too many emails. And the emails aren't a bunch of gobbledygook. It's about what is happening, the ways you can get involved, the ways you can impact our elections for the good, the ways you can help candidates, the ways you can get involved in LA County to help us turn LA County around so that it's serving we the people again. So that's the easiest way, SoCalPatriots.us. You can also find me on Telegram or on Twitter at SoCalMitch.
Very good. Thank you, Mitch Clemmons. It was an absolute pleasure getting to talk with you and getting to know you, and I will see you Saturday. Looking forward to it.
Thanks for having me on. It was a blast. You have a great day.
Yes, brother, you too. Don't go away, though. Stay right there. Hang on. Don't go away. I am Charlie Simons. You want to get yourself some American-made products who are super high quality. Majority of them made right here in the United States of America. He makes them at his factory in Minnesota. I'm talking about my hero, Mike Lindell. Invited me to be a part of the company as an affiliate. Gave me a promo code. It's my middle name, Lee. So use mypillow.com/Lee. mypillow.com/Lee. You're going to love the products. I do. I paid for my sheets. I got the pillow. I got the slippers. I love my pillow products. It's got like 40 of them, over 40 products now in this store. He had to go all online because all the media shut him down. All the big box stores took his product off the shelves. Why? Who cares anymore? I'm not even going to try and question why these demonic people living in their demonic haze do what they do against people who actually are all about free speech and honest and fair elections. Mike Lindell's put his fortune where his mouth is. And he needs us now buying his products to help him keep going. And I'm glad to do it. And I want to encourage you to use my middle name as a promo code, Lee, L-E-E. So it's mypillow.com/Lee. May God bless you and keep you. May God bless America. But most importantly, may America bless God.